Hey everybody, here we have this Dell power supply for service, model number L425P-00. So this might be a light-on power supply from what I'm judging the model number. And the problem with this power supply needs to have its fan replaced. And I made a power supply fan replacement video in the past, and the only issue is I covered a whole bunch of topics in that video other than just changing the fan, and then I actually changed the fan in the unit, and people were kind of upset about that, so I just changed the title of the video to overview of active PFC power supplies plus fan replacement tutorial. But in this video I'm going to try to get straight to replacing the fan in this power supply. Just to show you the steps. And this power supply has set overnight without being plugged in, and it's important to make sure these things have set for a while after you've unplugged them, so that way the capacitors in them have a decent amount of time to drain. And first thing we're going to go ahead and do here is snip these zip ties that are holding the cables to the housing. And this power supply comes out of a Dell XPS-430. And I have done so many things to that computer. I got videos of it. I got several videos of me doing things to it on YouTube, replacing hard drives, that kind of stuff. Okay, it looks like all the cables are freed up, so we can go ahead and pop the cover off. And let's see how many screws this thing has. It appears to have a total of 6 screws on top of it. This power supply is a special format power supply for Dell. It's a bit thicker than your standard ATX power supply in terms of its width. From, well, let's say height when it's mounted in the system case. Let me get these screws off. Okay, just got the cover off, and this thing is a monster. It's built very well. It's an active PFC unit, and of course there's a fan back there. I'll probably do more of an overview of this thing after I change the fan out, but changing the fan in this one's not going to be very easy. It seems like Dell power supplies, well, at least the newer ones, are designed as if the fan never fails and never needs to be replaced. It's like everything is built around the fan. Like this daughter board for the power supply, it's like it's attached to the fan itself. Let's see, the main board of the power supply wraps around the fan. It's not going to be very easy to get out. So let's see if we can get this thing out. Okay, finally got the fan popped out, and I actually had to unscrew all the screws holding this filter and rectification daughter board. Had to take that loose just to get the fan out. How ridiculous. But you can see, have a look at this rectifier board and filter board. It's built extremely well, and have a look at everything else, which I'll show you here shortly. Anyways, now I'll go ahead and snip the wires that hold this fan in and go ahead and change this fan out. Okay, I got the fan and daughter board reinstalled, and let's go ahead and have a look at this thing before I put the cover back on. This is a 425 watt power supply, and by the way it's built, it looks like it could easily put out that much power with no issue at all. And here's the new fan, and basically what I did is I used some electrical tape, and I snipped the wires and stripped the new wires back and wired everything up and taped it all together. And looks like we should be good to go. And here's the old fan. It's a Sunon. And let me tell you, from my personal experience, these fans are basically junk. I've had to replace so many of these fans. I've seen these fans go bad, and CPU coolers, power supplies, you name it. These Sunons, I mean, they're pretty much garbage when it comes to reliability. Well, the fan I installed to this power supply is a Foxconn, which was a case fan out of a recent HP computer. So it shouldn't have too much use on it. I went ahead and added some oil to it, so that way it should be good to go for a pretty good while. And If I could say that there's one issue with this power supply, it is right here. I'm gonna grab my flashlight so you can see a little better. Notice this big old resistor right here. Notice how the PCB has discolored a whole lot around this resistor. That thing here has gotten extremely hot. In fact, it got hot enough to melt a zip tie, a plastic zip tie. There's no telling where that used to go. So it basically melted that. And I'm hoping that it won't cause this power supply to fail in the future. But other than that, the thing looks perfectly fine. All the capacitors look fine. Everything looks fine in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the cover back on and return it to its owner so we can reinstall a power supply back into the computer. Anyway, that's how you change a power supply fan. And this is more of a complicated power supply. Most power supplies, when you go change a fan, all you gotta do is pop the cover off and 4 screws to take the fan out and snip the wires and rewire the new fan in. And of course, reverse the process for installing a new fan. So anyways, any questions or comments, feel free to ask.